Tomorrow night in New York, going to host the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year honors, this ceremony. I don't know if this guy knew that I was hosting. He's Derek Jeter, the Yankees, and joining us now. Congrats. How do you feel?
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I didn't know you were hosting that.
You did know?
I did not know you were hosting that, so it just keeps getting better, huh?
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, does that change anything where you'd like to maybe turn the award back in?
And I look forward to seeing you.
Okay, what does Sportsman of the Year mean to you?
All right, it's a tremendous award. You know, it's an award that's been around for such a long time. It's you know, for me it means much more than just playing sports. You know, I like to think it has something to do with how you conduct yourself as well. And you know, looking at the guys that have won it in the past, it's quite an honor.
When do you realize how you're conducting yourself on the field?
I think I don't know if you ever just sit down and think about it. I think it's just who you are, maybe. You know, I don't think it's a planned thing. I think, you know, the longer you play, the longer you've been around, you know, you realize that you're playing in a special place. And you know, when you hear people, you know, you talk to parents and you hear them talking about how their kids look up to you and things like that, I think you may realize it. But I don't think it's ever a planned situation.
Did your dad ever pull you aside and say, that's not the way my son plays or acts?
Yeah, when I was younger. You'd be surprised. When I was younger, you know, my parents are always are big on how you conduct yourself and you know, be a good sportsman. And you know, when I was younger, I didn't always look at things that way.
He's Derek Jeter. He's the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year, joining us for the Dan Patrick Show. When you got back to the World Series, did you forget what that feeling was like? Ever forget that?
I think I forgot how good it felt to win the World Series. You know, it's been such a long time. You know, we hadn't won since 2000. We hadn't been there since 2003. And, you know, we had played in a lot of World Series. I was fortunate to play in a lot of World Series when I was younger. But to get the opportunity to get back after all those years, you know, it really, you forgot how good it felt.
As a player, what do you do better now than, say, 10 years ago?
10 years ago, maybe these interviews with you, Dan.
You know what? I will say that. Yeah, but you don't reveal very much. You're pretty good at just keeping it inside the lines there. Is that on purpose?
Well, I think it's I don't know. I've been in New York since I've been 20 years old. I've pretty much grown up here. You know, I just am how I am. You know, I don't try to change anything. I've always been this way, and but I don't purposely try to hide anything from people. I just keep things simple.
But do you feel like you reveal so much of you is revealed as a player, even your public life? It's all there. You don't add to it by your words. Is that by design?
Well, yeah, I think there's some things that you try to keep private. I think you know, obviously what we do, our careers, is very, very public. Yeah, I realize that people are curious to know what's going on with you away from the baseball field, but you know, I think some things should be private.
Playing in New York, tougher on the field or off the field?
Probably in New York, I'd say it's probably tougher maybe off the field, just from what people have told me, because, you know, I don't have anything to compare it to. But you're under the spotlight, you know, pretty much every day of the year.
Did you take a souvenir from the old stadium?
I took a few of them.
Like?
I took a few. I was fortunate to get my, you know, lockers after I had passed Gehrig for the hit record. We had a ceremony on the field, and you know, Steiner Sports gave me a few great things from the old stadium. You know, I have my locker. I have the Joe DiMaggio sign that was in the tunnel going from our clubhouse to the dugout.
Nice.
And, yeah, so I got some pretty good gifts.
Did your dad ask for anything?
You know, he's asked. He's asked. I don't necessarily have to give it to him. It doesn't hurt to ask, though.
Come on, holiday season, you can't give him something for Christmas?
I'll think about it. You know, there's a few things there, but, you know, I don't want to ruin any Christmas gifts.
Are you aware you're the first Yankee to be the Sportsman of the Year?
You know, I was aware. I was told that when I was doing an interview for the magazine, and, you know, that's pretty hard to believe. You consider all the great Yankees throughout the years.
Do you have to wear a pinstripe suit tomorrow night, though?
I will not. I figured you'd do something like that.
Oh, you thought? Why did you think I would?
Just because, you pay attention to detail. So I figured it'd be a nice gesture on your part to wear one. So I don't want to wear the same thing as you.
Do you think I'd be a good Yankee?
On the field or off?
Wow. I don't know. You tell me.
I think you'd fit in off the field.
I would fit in with Posada, I think, and Tino Martinez.
Yeah, somewhere in between.
I'm a one-tool player, by the way.
Well, we'd find a place for you.